All right. Welcome, everybody, to the weekly Probate Mastery Group coaching call on the Estate Professionals Mastermind podcast. This call has gotten progressively more exciting over the last couple of weeks. So I'm like, well, what are we going to hear today? We've had some really great calls lately. It's really great to see the community that we work so hard to build take on a life of its own and see you guys coach each other. So thank you for showing up week after week, contributing, and a rising tide lifts all boats. So I don't take the culture here lightly. I really appreciate you guys appreciating and helping each. One thing I want to talk about this week before we jump into to help everybody else, something I've been hoping to deliver on, and just I can't. I've been trying to get myself cloned, but it's kind of expensive and risky. But the closest I can get to that is really the people who have put their trust in me to follow my leadership to build careers and niches. You guys know him very well. Bill Gross is one of those. So he's been a huge advocate for me, like an ambassador for Probate Mastery. And I'm really proud to have watched his journey and see how this can unfold for one person in particular. Hundreds and hundreds of these stories over my career in doing this, but Bill's one that, like, he didn't quit showing up. He continues to come. He continues to contribute. He's created his own channels and he's putting his own value out there. And I'm happy to have him as part of our community. And there's so many people. I saw Dave Glenn on here. I mean, Dave, you've been coming to these calls for years too. I mean, a lot of these faces. So thank you guys all for that. One of the things we're announcing this week, as of, I don't know, about 30 seconds ago, we got it done. I surveyed you guys last week. Everybody kind of gave everybody an opportunity to see what your appetite would be for more learning beyond this group coaching call. And the overwhelming majority of respondents said that the most valuable thing at this current time, like in the next 30 days to help them grow their business, was just having access to a CPE coach at a $500 per use basis. So rather than building out subscription programs and taking longer to actually deliver on that, what we're offering right now is an opportunity to actually coach directly with Bill on a one-off basis. Now, there's a couple of ways you can find the information about that. By the time this call's over, we'll have probatecoaches.com. If you're watching the recorded version of this, you can simply go to probatecoaches.com as the fastest path. For right now, and probably for the next few minutes, if you go to probatemastery.com, I've added coaches or coaching to the menu. So you'll see course, coaching, yada, yada. But you can go there and actually get signed up. If the one-off coaching is not what you really want, I know we did have respondents who said, we're ready for one-on-one coaching. We're ready for a higher level group coaching for more attention. If you'd like, please, if there's some sort of support and coaching that you would like to get, we've added a form at the bottom of that page. So you can tell us what we need to create. I'm not really one to produce a product and try to jam it down your throat with excessive marketing. It's more you guys help us shape the business model to be the most valuable it can be for you. So if that is not the kind of coaching you're looking for right now, but you do want some more accountability and to get there faster, please take a moment to fill out that form so we know what we can do to meet your needs. And before we fully kick off, Bill, I'll kick it to you if there's anything you'd like to say. I think everybody here pretty much knows you, but that this in a few days, the rest of the world will probably see this too. So certified probate expert and probate mastery coach, Bill Gross.
Well, thanks, Chad. Look, it's been an honor beginning to work with you, and it's been the ride of a lifetime, my career. Since I was 60 years old when I relaunched 3 years ago, business that's really just changed my life as a result of focusing on probate all in, writing a plan on it. And I talked about this for a while. The thing that you and I both agreed on was we weren't in the coaching to take money from people. We're in coaching to help people move forward that need help and try to find a way to monetize the time. I mean, I make a lot of money as a real estate broker. I can't afford to do it for free all day long. And also, I think when people pay for something, it gets their attention, they commit to it.
Absolutely. So, sorry to interrupt, but I don't, you and I probably talked about this. I coach at $2,000 an hour, and that's what people come to me and offer. Not to brag, but I have like about the price. I have offered that to people for free who I thought had a lot of potential, and they almost always waste it. most recently when I was in Jacksonville, Florida, a couple of weeks ago. And it's something that it's frustrating because even when you want to give it away, it's not taken seriously without that. I will say that for what we're offering, there's a hell of a lot more value than what we're asking for. But
Yeah. Frankly, I've been doing it for free because I just never got around to setting up anything to charge for it. And it was kind of frustrating that people didn't take advantage. And I do feel that people put some effort into it and will value it. But most importantly, I'm a practitioner. I do this every day. I literally hung up. I was a little bit late because I was interviewing an attorney that I met at probate court as part of my marketing for my listing business to get referrals from. So I'm not just doing this as a coach. I am a first and primarily practitioner. I'm doing the coaching. To be honest, it sounds like it'd be fun to do, and it's an excuse to work with Chad. I really don't have the ambition to be a coach. I've done it. I'm not against it, but I really love helping people build their businesses. And so if I can help you, I'm here for you. And that's why I come on these calls. That's why I do my own calls, is to help agents. And I'm glad to do that if possible.
yeah, thank you, Bill. All right. Does anybody have any questions or anything we can coach you on right now? Any wins you'd like to share? We've had
Hey,
a lot
Chad.
of interesting topics. Yes, I
Good. Oh, can you hear me?
can hear you. I was trying
Okay.
to figure out how you were talking.
Yeah, I haven't been on here in a while. I don't know if you remember, you gave me some advice about, I asked you about taking over my mom's property that's paid up, or getting my brother's name under it so we can start investing in it and using it to invest. And you suggested that we buy it from them. I pitched this idea to them. They didn't like. They're just too scared to do anything right now. I can understand my mom. She's elderly. She came from Mexico and living in a shack. So what we're living at right now, it's like paradise to her. It's not the best, but the properties around our area are the area's appreciating, to say the least. I finally got to talking to my brother again, and he's kind of like wanting to do it, but he's saying that we couldn't get a loan because he just got got a new truck. And so, but I know he's got a good job, and he's one of those people that takes care of his credit. And I was wondering or thinking to myself, or I heard also, that there's lenders out there that they will see that, maybe that little blemish, but they'll look at the deal and that they'll.
Let me, and we've got an audio loop, Alex. If you could turn your volume down there, I think it cleared up.
Turn mine down.
Yeah, it seemed to be coming from your.
How's that?
Okay, I don't hear it anymore. I think we're good. I think it's been 6 or 8 months since we had this conversation. So is your mother's living in the property? Is that still the case?
Yes, they're two townhouses together.
Didn't I suggest that she move in with one of you or the other, your brother, because that was a possibility?
My brother lives with her now because my stepdad, his dad passed away from COVID. So yeah, so my brother's living there now. I live in the same complex with the roommate.
Okay.
And we just got the other side rented out to other family members for $1,200 a month.
But was I suggesting you guys buy it and hold it as a long-term buy and hold property?
I don't remember that. I just remember you saying us to buy it from my mom.
Yeah. And that was because she needed money and you and your brother wanted to gain that appreciation, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the fact that she's living in it makes the financing strategy more difficult. If is she fixed that she has fixed income, she's on Social Security, or can she afford to pay rent?
No. Plus other bills. No.
Okay. The type of loan that I would suggest if she could afford to pay rent just for a teachable moment would be a DSCR loan on the commercial side of a community bank or even with a private lender. And a DSCR is a debt service coverage ratio. So that's basically an asset-based loan, not a credit-based loan. What they're going to ask for is 2 months of rent receipts or a P&L for 2 months. That doesn't really apply in your situation. So there are other lenders out there, believe it or not, like no doc and low doc loans are back. They're not really that easy to find, but the person I would point you to, Alex, is O. Eckstein, and I did a podcast on his platform 3 weeks ago or so. And Kat will probably drop a link here very quickly before I can even finish talking, but BEAUECKSTEIN, Bo Eckstein. And he kind of she's already got it. He specializes in this.
He's good.
If Bo's in a mastermind with me, like I will vouch for him as a professional. If he can't help you, he will point you to the person that can. So I would recommend connect with Bo and talk through the situation with him and say, what do you recommend? He can connect you with private loans. He can connect you with DSCR loans but what any lender is going to be looking at is who's making the payments, and without an income stream from the property, what's our risk? So if you have, especially if you expect windfalls in the future, if you've got things that, are going to increase your income, or if you have other assets that you can cross collateralize, private lenders will sometimes make special loans for you based on the de-risking of the loan. Bo will be able to walk you through that and kind of say, here's the best options and the people I can introduce you to if I can't do it myself.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there another way I can get, I'm sorry if y'all heard some static there. I was trying to go to the link that Kat posted over there. It started getting staticky. Is there another way I can see the link later or find the link later?
Yeah. Whenever this was published, it'll be in the show notes, but right now you can just, if you go to mute and then just jump over to chat, you should be able to grab it.
All right. Thank you so much, Chad.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Kate. Kate's she's good.
Okay, next we have Doris has said, I'm new to the group. Doris, are you, I hope I'm not butchering your name. You have a microphone? Where are you?
Hello. Yes, you're saying my name correctly.
There you are. I think you're the first Doris I've met. Have you ever met any other Dorises?
I actually have met one.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Okay, so you're new to the group. Welcome.
Thank you.
Is this your
So
first?
my question is, I bought a bunch of probate leads and I have the PR and the deceased name and the attorney's name.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to approach the attorneys to make friends with, but I really don't know how to go about it. I mean, I'm a former advertising person, so I'm like, oh, I need like a kit selling myself, or what do people do to do that? Oh, you're shaking your head laughing.
There's no
I don't need a PR kit.
Collateral. There's no email
Public
copy,
relations
script. It's called eye contact. That's how we do this. So have you finished the Probate Mastery course? Have you gotten all the way through it?
I did. I need to, I definitely need to refresh myself, but yes, I did take it. Yep.
So the first place I will point you is the end of session 2, where we talk about building your referral network. And I share a couple of tactics in there. What's happening literally as we speak here today, we're adding 4 hours of attorney interviews are being added to the end of session 2. I don't think any of those attorneys are here today. We've got 2 attorneys out of Florida, 1 out of California, and 1 out of Arizona. And we have 4 hours of the question you just asked, me asking that question directly to attorneys. The inspiration that I've gotten over the last week or so in putting that together and trying to do a better job at getting that information to you guys has led to me, right before I jumped on this call, the reason I was late is I'm actually creating a brand new course, a supplementary course to Probate Mastery called Earn Attorney Referrals Now. And this is going to be probably a 2 to 4 hour course that goes much, much deeper than what you'll find in session 2, where we actually will show you the numbers we'll show you the inside of that industry so you can understand exactly what struggles they have in their business and know how to create a value proposition based on learning the struggles of scaling a small law firm with tight anti-solicitation restrictions.
Okay.
So I hope I would love to say this week, but we have a very aggressive schedule. In the next 2 weeks, I will deliver a course to you guys. CPEs, like the people in this call, will have first access to it at an introductory price, and then it will go out as a public course after you guys have had access to it. The goal here is as we move toward a bigger community and more of a mastermind format, we're bringing more and more attorneys into the conversation. So I can show them to you in videos now, but we're about to start co-producing courses with estate attorneys. So more importantly than just how do you get a referral, like how do you actually team up and collaborate and help scale both businesses in concert? So that's the direction we're headed. We've definitely seen that there's more and more of a desire to attract the business directly from attorneys. But we're also very interested in helping the attorneys reach more consumers and scale their business the same way we've been teaching you to over the years. Perfect timing for the question. You've got some resources right now that you can look at in session 2. And then hopefully in the next week or so, I will have a full-blown course on exactly how to do this. And we'll have attorneys will be collaborating. It'll be the first time we've actually had attorneys teach with us in the course content.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep. Nina, I see your hand up. How are you?
Sorry about that. I had to unmute. I'm well. How are you? So I have a question that's kind of a piggyback on that, which is fiduciaries. So while attorneys are great referral partners, so are fiduciaries. And if anyone here has been through the experience of nurturing a probate lead for 6 months to a year, only to find out, and let's say there are heirs who have a competing petition, and so they're teetering on litigation, but they finally don't go to litigation because the judge says, we'll decide on a fiduciary. And so now they've decided on a fiduciary, and that fiduciary is given either limited or full authority. But if they're given full authority, they have their network of agents they work with to list the property. So to this course, Chad, will you potentially be including anything that may say how, because I would think it's similar in terms of building a referral network of attorneys. It would be very similar in terms of fiduciaries. Would you be able to add anything to that or bring that into the fold possibly?
I'm not 100% settled on it yet, Nina. What I want to do is actually teach the fiduciary track, but also the elder care attorney, the registered investment advisor, the senior moving company, the case manager, the care manager, the social worker. I would like to have modules for each and every one of those people who have contact with the family in the end of life phase or the close to the death phase. In the interest of time and getting it out, I decided to just launch the attorney track right now. What is likely to happen is I could probably produce an hour course on all those other ones, maybe 2 hours. What's likely to happen is they'll be bundled into where if you bought one, you get a coupon for the other, or you can buy, if it's 6 months from now, you're listening to this, you can buy them all for one price. It's a heck of a lot lower than the collective. But I'm challenging myself to not be such a perfectionist. I have so much in my head that I want to give to you guys, but I always wait for this moment where it all clicks together in this perfect vision before I start. And instead, I'm trying something different this year. I'm going to try to just get stuff out of my head and in your hands, and I'll figure out the pricing structure and how we present it to you. Yes, I do plan on including the fiduciary track. I'm just not exactly sure when it's being released and when, but for what I can say right now is 90% of the attorney course will translate to a fiduciary.
Got it. Yeah, I would think so. And just to say that in 3 years, well, about 3.5 years time, maybe I can participate in that course in some degree, because I am now in law school for being an estate attorney probate.
Look at you.
Yeah, I got accepted. Yeah, thank you. I didn't mean to jump in there with another, but yeah, I got accepted in December and started my first class in spring, and I'm using a lot of my experience in probate in the courses. And so it's wonderful that I already have so much knowledge from being in real estate, because no real estate contracts, you're dealing with legal stuff. And then with the probate space, it's been great. And I'm looking really forward to it. And I continue on with my next elective this summer, and then I continue on full time in the spring and the fall.
So I will say you are going to kick ass in that profession. Like your level of technical, like the way your brain likes technical knowledge, like you like to do the creative thinking, you understand all aspects of real estate. Like for you to bring all of that into a probate attorney role is phenomenal. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's my clients who said to me, Nina, so much more. You've helped us more than our attorneys have. You should be our attorney. And
Yeah.
of course, I have to tell them I can't give you legal advice, but thanks for the vote.
A lot of people said that to me. I would say John Fraker and the other attorneys I know are the reason I didn't do it.
Well, it's interesting. It was actually a client of mine who I didn't get the deal. She was in litigation with her co-trustee brother, and the judge ordered them to choose. Sorry, the judge ordered them to choose between three different agents who'd been in the business for over 30 years. So, Bill, if you were in the pool, maybe you could have gotten it. But with that said, developed a friendship with her, and I followed up with her just to see how things went, because I knew she was going to be inheriting a good amount and I knew she could potentially buy. So of course I'm going to follow up with her. And sure enough, we had the conversation and she's like telling me more about the litigation case. And she's like, oh my God, I'm going to find a program for you. And she found the hybrid program, which is 70% online. And 1 week in a month, we do residency at the Ventura campus. And here I am in law school. So wish me luck.
That's amazing. All right. So there's your new challenge, guys. Nina just raised the bar. Like now we have to go from CPE to JD, apparently. Who else is going to law school? Not me. No, that's really awesome. The reason I haven't done it, I've had a lot of people pull me aside and ask, like, why are you not an attorney? I'm like, I'm smarter than that. That's the $500,000 in debt and 4 years out of my life. But that's a smart ass answer. I really do mean it. I'm proud of you. It's going to take a lot of hard work, but if anyone can do it, like you're the right person to be in that industry. And selfishly, I'm very excited to share in that journey with you, because I can use your law license and your expertise to reach more attorneys who can approach this in a different way. That's one of my big goals. Is I've coached thousands of people and dealt with lots in my own business that are really grossly underserved by probate attorneys. And oftentimes those are the attorneys who didn't cut it in litigation or couldn't make it in criminal defense. And it was a fallback position. And they're just there because they had a revolving door of referrals. And if you're a probate attorney listening to this, I'm probably not talking about you. It's the ones that hate to go to work. They drag themselves out of bed every morning. They sludge through the inefficiencies that their office or their existence has become, and they're cynical toward their clients and the world. And unfortunately, that's a reality in this industry. And between now and 2060, we're going to lose about 98% of the baby boomer generation, and their workload is going to get heavier and heavier, and their standard of service is going to lower and lower. So now is the time for people like Nina to step up before this, as the nursing home calls it, the silver tsunami of baby boomers come through the death care space. Hospitals don't have a plan. Nursing homes don't have a plan. Law firms sure as hell don't have a plan. So it's bringing efficiency and maintaining a high standard of service while bringing efficiency into the business is what's needed in the estate attorney industry.
Yes.
And
I made a discovery. Really quickly, I made a discovery in my first course, which is contemporary legal practice. And it's collaborative law. It's actually been around since the 90s, but it's based in family law around collaborating in the legal process of in this dispute resolution. And if anything, I see more and more with these fighting heirs. I've got a case right now where I thought it was going to be smooth, and then no, we had a competing petition. Collaborative law would be an excellent avenue through which to handle probate cases, particularly collaborating with investors and agents in the probate space.
There you go. And that's what my vision for EPM is, just that, to create the platform. And I'm super excited you're doing what you're doing, because you can be a great voice in that platform.
Woohoo. Thank
Like
you.
we need to bridge the gap. Basically everybody that I teach you guys to put on a vendor team needs to be on your full-time internal team. Like those people should be part of every deal. They should be kept in the loop. They should have opportunities to step up and provide value, even if we're not specifically contacting them for clean out services. If they have visibility into the overall probate picture, then they can say, hey, Nina, by the way, I read that brief for the Jones family. I know a guy that actually deals in antique Mopar automobiles. He's coming to make an offer. So you never know who in your network might know somebody in their network that can support your business. So that collaborative model that you're talking about, that's my big vision for estate professionals mastermind. Like, let's get all of our vendors into this conversation, and let's like I said, a rising tide lifts all boats. So I love your vision on that, Nina, and I'd love to help you with it any way I can.
Hey, real quick, Nina, keep us posted. That's very inspiring. I'm 46 years old and thinking about going back to school. So keep us posted.
I will. Hey, I'm 53, but age ain't nothing but a number, my friend. So there it is.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right, Renee, are you going to one up her? Let me guess. You've decided to be a nuclear physicist.
Oh my God, it's the cat's out of the bag. I mean, how exciting would that be? Lord, I talk too much to be a nuclear physicist, but thank God they exist in the world. Congratulations, Nina. That's really exciting. We don't know each other, but I'm really proud of you. That's really inspiring. So
Thank you very much.
very cool. I wanted to just ask if, like, the attorney that I'm working with right now, I mentioned her before. She's an excellent bedside manner. She's just chosen to be more like a one-person show with an assistant, or just take on cases as they come. I mean, is that somebody that I can make an introduction to as her style point for your attorney list? If somebody needs like a softer touch or more one-on-one, I mean, are you looking for a profile with attorneys?
That's directed at Nina, right?
No, that's you.
Or
Sorry.
at me?
Yeah, you're-
Yeah, I mean, here basically what I'm looking for is any attorney who shares common values that we have here.
Mhm.
Like, when I try to explain this community to people, it usually starts with, it's a group of people who, first of all, have empathy and compassion, but they're designing a career based on purpose more than based on profit.
Mhm.
And I think, I mean, if anyone disagrees with me, if you're just here because you like to make money and you don't give a about your client's needs, it would surprise me. But I think it's safe to say that's the common thread that runs throughout all these faces you see, is we're a different type of professional that's willing to slow down, be patient, listen before we speak, and then just provide the perfect solution. And that's the kind of attorneys we're looking for too. If you've watched the videos like John Fraker, Sylvana Riles, Al Nicoletti, like those four, they're living the attorney version of this culture. They're providing a unique service, a very high level of service in a unique way. And yes, we're all benevolent. We're here to make money, but money just shows up. If you provide a high enough level of service, the money shows up. So any attorney that any of you guys have that kind of fits that fits our values here, please invite them to the community. Let's include them in the conversation.
What does that actually look like, the logistics, when you say invite to the community? What's
Well,
next?
for right now, you can invite them to the Facebook group, Estate
Okay.
Professionals Mastermind. If it's someone you're like, Chad needs to talk to this person directly, you can get in touch with me, and we'll get you a link to whatever is the appropriate link to my calendar. I've got a dozen different calendar types, but you can email support or email McKenna, McKenna at magnumopusproject.com.
Mhm.
And McKenna can get out a link, whatever one makes the most sense, whether it's a podcast or content recording spot, or if it's just a 30-minute intro or an after hours. I've been working till 1 a.m. because I'm so lit up right now. But so you're on the West Coast. I mean, if sometimes maybe you can schedule a call for 9 Eastern and hit your guy after work. So that would be the best way, like, to give them a path directly to me. But otherwise, I mean, invite as many attorneys that, as long as they, meet the standard that I just kind of laid out, we'd love to have them be part of Estate Professionals Mastermind. I'm not an attorney. I know a lot about probate. I can call myself an expert because I've put my 10,000 hours in. I'm willing to be held accountable by attorneys. Like, I want to make sure that I'm always sharing the most relevant and accurate information. So by having attorneys in our group, in a real estate community, a group that started as a real estate community, it just holds us all to a higher standard of professionalism, and we're all going to be better, right? Like, we're going to learn from them. So for everybody listening, like, if you have attorneys that you appreciate, that you think are a good fit culture wise, please invite them to Estate Professionals Mastermind and tell them to contribute, tell them to speak up. I know we've got several dozen in there now, but we don't hear much from them. because we're all in real estate. We never shut up, and the attorneys are quietly in there, participating, but they're not quite as outspoken as us real estate people are.
Okay. That answered the question. Perfect. So I'll do that first and foremost. And I'll escalate it to McKenna, because I think this is a good one. And she just has a really good bedside manner, like just calm and all that good stuff. So
I made a really good connection with, she's practically a neighbor of yours, but she's not a practicing attorney. She has a law degree, and she started taking Probate Mastery yesterday. I don't think I see her here, but she wants to contribute. She was in litigation law, and she wants to become a probate specialist, but lend her legal. She keeps her license current, and she's a member of the bar, but she's interested in playing a bigger role in the community. I'm trying to collect as many valuable attorneys that want to contribute as possible. So if you've got one, please, can I get them on my calendar?
okay.
I'd love to meet them. And thank you for that intro, Renee.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Be well.
Awesome. All right. So McKenna and Kat have been working behind the scenes. Probatecoaches.com is now active. So you can get to our coaching page with that easy URL. Nina, you got a lot of love over here in the chat section. You might want to save this call. Terry, have you got a microphone? Shoot. Let's see if we can get you unmuted. We can see you talking.
Okay.
There you
Am
go.
I unmuted now?
We got you.
Hey, success. Oh my God.
You don't have to learn sign language.
And I'm not a technophobe. I don't know what the heck's going on with this, but like I say, I've got a meeting at 1:30 with an attorney of one of my clients. And what you guys just said made it seem like I'd ask him, are you willing to interview with me on a Zoom for going out to your folks and to my folks both?
Absolutely. Especially if do you have a website, Terry, for your probate business?
Yes, I do. It's estate and trusted estate broker.com.
That's a really good domain.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah, I had some people try to buy that from me, actually.
I'll bet. When you're ready to retire, that's probably a $10,000 domain if you keep building authority on it.
I had one other question. I tried to get together with some professional administrators, and they all seem to want to cut costs. If you can do it for 1%, we might be interested. They seem totally involved with keeping the cost down instead of doing the job effectively, quickly, smoothly. And
what's your response?
I didn't have a response. I just wandered off.
Can I give you one?
Yeah.
Can I give you a response?
Yes, please.
Hell, I'll even write this one down on a script. I hate scripts, but I'll give you this one. Well, I'm really glad you said that, because I'm also an aspiring barber, and I'd like to offer you a $3 haircut.
That's pretty funny.
So what we're doing here is we're getting them out of they're in their default mode network. They've learned how to run not that professional, not that valuable people off. And by using a smart ass funny comment like that, we can actually short circuit their neurology, and we can get them present in the conversation. So we get them off of this pattern. They've established a mental pattern that gets them a positive result. Now, if we challenge that, we're going to see one of two things. We're either going to see them open up and have a real conversation with us, or we're going to see their ego come up and actually present a defense. If that's the case, you're in the wrong damn room with the wrong damn person. Just move on, because they're in it for the wrong reason. If they're a professional fiduciary and their primary motivation is profit, it's not one. Eventually that relationship will bite you in the ass, because downward price races always end the same way. If you step into that spot, the other guy gets kicked out. It's just a matter of time before someone comes in and takes your spot for a lower price, and you've wasted all that time trying to build a real relationship based on value when all they gave a shit about was the price. So my advice to you is realize your worth, call those people to the carpet using a technique like I just showed you. And if they get defensive, say, you know what? I just heard all I need to hear. You have a great day. And move on to the next one. And I'm not typically one to say, oh, sales is a numbers game with prospects. I'll continue to try to, be more generous with prospects. But when it's B2B, when you're dealing with professionals, and everything I just said stands for attorneys too. Like if they try to run you off, short circuit their nervous system with some abrupt or funny comment, And then if you come at them with something like that and they get defensive, you're probably in the wrong place. It's not the kind of person you want to associate with. So just move on and find someone who's more professional. But what market are you in?
South Orange County, California.
Okay,
South of
so
LA.
have you tried becoming an affiliate member of the fiduciary group?
No, I haven't. What I did do for a time before COVID is I went to the attorney meetings monthly. I became a member of the associate member of the bar or something like that.
Oh,
It was cheaper than dirt. And here's a whole room full of attorneys. And unfortunately, I didn't really have a very good handle on how to handle it. But wow, what a valuable thing when they started back up again. I don't know if they have, but I'm about to check it.
a guy from New Jersey in probate, and he did that in New Jersey, but he did it for divorce attorneys. So they would have a monthly meeting. He was making over $1 million a year on divorce deals.
Oh, wow.
His marketing budget was $0.
Wow.
Like well, I mean, that's technically not true. Whatever his dues were and whatever it cost him to buy them lunch once a month, it might have been maybe $2,000 a month tops, but he was making over $1 million a year, and that was his only marketing effort. So definitely check and see if they're meeting in person, and if they are, figure out a way to get there with some.
The divorce people don't do it in Orange County, only the probate types.
Now, something that may not have occurred to you. I mean, you paid your dues, and you can use this idea individually if you would like. But you've got other people, at least 4 that I can see on this call, that are in Orange County that are of an abundance mindset, not a competitive mindset. One of them's on the phone right now. But I mean, you've got Renee, Bill Gross, Nina, of people I know where everybody is. You guys are Winston. You guys are all in the same general area. You should consider actually getting together and figuring out how to approach this with even more value as a group. Maybe you all go to the attorneys to to these meetings and offer yourselves up as a panel, or I don't know, you guys, but you might want to consider meeting up and actually collaborating on this effort. And then you just need one thing. I will say, I've said this to every real estate professional ever since my very first team in real estate. You can't practice full disclosure enough, and you can't talk about expectations enough if you're going to collaborate with another salesperson. So if you take my advice and you guys decide to do something like this, speak early, speak often about expectations. So here's what I expect. What do each of you expect? Give everybody a voice. Don't give anyone a chance to say, "Oh, nothing. I'm just here to see what it's like." Like, make sure everybody discusses, here's what we expect, here's what could go wrong, here's what we're committed to doing if that starts to happen. And then you can have a healthy partnership, a healthy collaboration. If you don't do those things, you're likely to get a bunch of type A salespeople who see each other as competitors and blow apart that relationship. So if it's something you want to do, I think it can be hugely beneficial to everybody. But you have to be deliberate in how you put it together so it doesn't end up blowing up friendships and business relationships.
Thanks a million. I appreciate it.
Yep. Okay. Who's up next? Who can we help? All right. Lynette has a hand up.
Hey.
The high net worth specialist from Denver. What are you dragging in this time? $8 million off market listing, I hope.
I was in the Outer Banks, not very far from you. I think I drove by you, Chad. I waved. I did that. But there's some vacation property opportunity out there. I'm not sure how to tether it, but my sister and I bought oceanfront, and it's been a long road for me and my family. And to be on the ocean was quite an indication of where we'd come from. So it was a beautiful break, and I did a little social media blast, and the flood of people interested in things like that. I think, I don't think a probate estate and trust is separate. I think it all coordinates, and it allows us to bring value and generational wealth. And there's certainly some of that there.
When you see like the 24-bedroom houses, that's pretty apparent.
With elevators, and it's just an extraordinary place. I mean, I'm a little wonky about the sand. I'm like, is it going to fall off? I'm like, is there anything under there? Don't you wonder, really? Like
Yeah.
Florida seems solid.
Did you go visit the wild horses on the beach?
Oh, we didn't this time, but we have. Yeah, it's just really incredible. My niece loves them. So my question is, it's a little granular, but do we have in our coffer, do we have anyone that is really an attorney in particular, really great at foreclosures and reverse foreclosures in particular? Do we have that? And then the second one was,
So because, and I know where that question's coming from, it's coming from 3 weeks ago. And because of the caveat that the condition that you applied to that when we had that discussion,
Mhm.
you need to find a Colorado attorney. So Dave Gwynn, if you have your microphone, if you're able to speak right now, Dave would be the one I would point you to because he's just up the road from you. You guys aren't necessarily competing, but he has been there for a long time and been an investor. So I'm betting he knows a really good real estate attorney.
so I've got 3 that I've spoken to, and when I well, that's on the probate and estate side, right? So it's an important part. On the foreclosure side, as soon as I mention foreclosure, I get this whole little experience from them that it's like the attorney shut down.
I can give you some direction
Thank you.
if you'd like. And I'm going to caveat this that now that I've announced I'm I am not an attorney, y'all. So just know that I can't provide legal advice, and I'm not. I'm actually coming from knowing foreclosures as a short sale foreclosure specialist designation from the National Association of Realtors, and having been through a foreclosure, and literally the last 4 clients I've been nurturing and working with all have HECMs, reverse mortgages, and I have a strategy for how to address this. Now, there's actually a local attorney in Orange County here who really, he does probates, and he has a whole thing on HECMs, and he uses that actually to get a lot of business in probate because of the urgency. But if
Mhm.
you could just tell me your specific issue, I might be able to point you with some ideas and strategy to address it.
So the specific issue from 3 weeks ago, I've got that contained. So that's the good news. No, they have time. So we're in front of the probate court.
Gotcha.
Like it's the ones that, so Colorado has that 15-day notice to cure. And I haven't gotten an answer from an attorney that can say if they can trump the injunction or not. I mean, in my opinion, and I'm not an attorney and I don't have any basis for this, but you could trump anything. I mean, you get somebody to sign off on it. I think am I wrong? So the reason I'm asking, so there's a specific instance which is handled, but I'm looking for a more scalable solution. I want somebody that I can call and they know how to engage, systemically engage, and to quickly engage with the people that are in a tailspin.
So what is right now the urgency for this, that your clients have
So Nina, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a bunch of reverse foreclosures with people that haven't filed probate yet. And they're on this fast track to auction with the family estate, effectively, with nobody assigned as a PR. And I don't know if there's a will or no will. There's no visibility to this. What I'm looking for is when I'm coming in, I want to come in with some ammunition. It's me and me with no like initials.
Okay.
But Nina, I don't think you were here, but we challenged her to actually pursue this as a niche within a niche because she has access to, she tends to have a really easy time connecting with high net worth individuals, and she's been able to find quite a few of these. So if she could find the right attorney who would stick with her and make sure when he sees her cell phone, he or she picks up the phone, then she could trust this as a core offering in her business. That's when we left off.
I can literally make it rain for an attorney and provide just an exceptional level of service for people. They just don't know what to do.
So I have an attorney here who is very good, that has dealt with preempting the HECM foreclosure issue. And by the way, HECM, home equity conversion mortgage. I know that Chad, you had a podcast with somebody, a video with someone who does these. So I just wanted to clarify if anyone didn't know the acronym. So with HECM, he knows how to deal with them, knows the urgency, and he does a solution that we in fact have done here, which Chad has talked about, which is bringing a private lender or a inheritance lender to the table to do a hard money loan or a high rate, but for a 1-year term in order to get the property sold, interest only, as long as, of course, there's enough equity. I don't always recommend that if there's another avenue, but that usually ends up having to be it. I'm actually about to present to a group of women investors how they can be probate advance investors or do private lending on probates in this situation in order to help those clients who don't have enough equity, who only have so much equity, so that they can still avoid it. But with that said, one avenue is to connect with an attorney in another market who's had the experience. I'll send you David's information.
Okay.
And then ask him, hey, this is my situation. Would you be willing to conference in with an attorney or with other attorneys at an event I'm holding around avoiding foreclosure in probate due to a home equity conversion mortgage in default? And then hold that Zoom meeting with all of those attorneys in Colorado, as well as David, where he can help them understand how they can solve the problem for these clients. And now these attorneys have been given a new avenue of generating business where you then tail end on that event and say, so this is what I can help you with bringing clients to you to serve my clients so that we can have these families avoid losing their legacy. And now they'll be equipped to go, all they have to do is go into the OnLaw or any of these legal resources of databases of legal policies to look up how to handle a reverse mortgage or foreclosure situation. But they could easily find the solutions just by getting some guidance from David to implement into their practice. So that's the first thing, to try to bring them into your sphere as your referral partners.
So all of that. So thank you, Nina. It's brilliant. And what I'm seeing is there's this gap, meaning that the families aren't even probated yet. Like
Exactly.
So has he seen that? This cannot be a state phenomena.
No, it isn't. It isn't. And in fact, I think that's why you end up seeing, well, I'll say I've seen probates where all of a sudden they have their hearing, but then they've got a foreclosure notice that shows on title that's like, wait a minute, when did this happen? Well, it's because what happens with the HECM, the date of death is the date of default, because by HECM standards, amongst other requirements, if it's no longer their primary residence, well, they died, so it's not, then it has to go into default. They put it, but you're given an automatic 6-month extension to cure the default. Well, 6 months isn't really a whole lot of time in probate, we know, because of the courts. So then they are given an option for 2. And this is here, I know this is how I understand it. Okay. So if you found other news, let me know, but then they can do 2 3-month extensions in writing to request an extension for 3 months. And because of COVID, they're currently can go up to 18 months if they have a COVID condition, COVID circumstance. And really right now with COVID, you raise your hand, tenants are getting away with all kinds of crap against landlords.
Nina, are you sure that last part is not California specific?
No, I'm pretty sure it's not, because it's under HUD. If you go to HUD's website, this is where the information is listed there on HUD's website. And they're applying the COVID rules to HECMs. Even if you don't have COVID, you can get the additional extensions. But what you need to do, Lynette, is you need to reach these people, even if it's in writing, or you may be in partnership with an attorney, to say, hey, I know you haven't filed yet, but if you are not aware of it, you don't have a whole lot of time because of the reverse mortgage. You either need to get it refinanced out, or you need to get the property sold to save the property, or you're going to lose it. And I can offer you a free consultation. That's the urgency, is you need to let these people know that they just don't have a lot of time. And the other challenge is that, like with my current client, she filed the petition. She's half sister. There's a half brother. The half brother grew up in the house. He's irrational at this point, thinking he can keep it. He doesn't have the finances to even qualify for a loan. It's over 50% LTV. So there's actually 3 years. There's no way he can buy them out. He wouldn't qualify for a loan, but he wants to. So he decides to file a competing petition. Immediately, that causes the first petition's hearing date was April 15th. They pushed it to the May 10th date on his petition because he was a competing filer. So that's what happens when there's a competing petition, it pushes the date. Then you go into court and the judge says, hey, you two figure it out. There's a continuance, 90 days now before you can go ahead and get your PR. So now you're using up 4 months worth of time, HECM timeline, to go into default. How does the agent of service who's providing all these solutions, I do no upfront cost renovations. I help them with, relocating the tenants. I've been up and down all the landlord tenant eviction moratoriums here in California to find the loopholes. There are only a few, literally 2. But, it's finding the solutions and then figuring out the timeline and strategy to get this property renovated and sold for the highest price. We don't have the time to be losing 4 months due to competing petitions and continuances because the judge is saying, figure it out. You're the family members. So that's where you have to show up with all of that ammunition of knowing the problems to say, this is serious. It's free. There's no obligation. I'm trying to help you save your legacy. Let's have a conversation, and then bring down those attorneys you trained to the table.
Does the court have the ability to assign an administrator while they're doing what they're doing? Just as from a fiduciary standpoint for the estate in general? I mean, I'm making this up.
No, I would say no. It depends on your state. Most likely no, because it has to be appointed by the judge by petition. And in this case, and it's not uncommon for competing heirs or competing petitioners for the judge where they come back at that continuance hearing that's 90 days later. They don't have a decision. They're still fighting. And the judge says, okay, find a fiduciary. Here's another continuance. And then they say, okay, now the fiduciary is going to be the petitioner or going to be awarded the PR. But ultimately, whoever petitions, they need to get really what you can do is say, hey, if you've got 2 heirs who are competing and they haven't decided who's going to be the PR, say it doesn't really matter who is. You both are entitled. What matters is you don't lose your legacy. Just get the petition filed and let's get it in court. As soon as you've got it filed, you can go to the HECM and say, hey, get an extension. We're in probate.
Well, in your case, like if you're just looking for a way to initiate probate so you can do that, I think I know where the root of your question is. If you can get somebody from the family to petition, then have them show up at the hearing and say, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I need to abdicate my role. I'm not cut out for this. Could you please appoint a fiduciary or a public administrator? That is a workaround for you. So that can short circuit that and get the judge to say, okay, the court has appointed a public administrator. This probate is now in process. Then you've got the ball rolling.
So I want to go back with the one specifically. We have enough time. We're going to get in front of everybody. We need to get in the event we don't have a family member that has the right to transfer property and we have the money to secure the property. How is the money secured if we don't know who the signature is? Like how do we get that done? It's just not, is it? I mean, you just gifted the payoff.
Yeah, but this is, I mean, you're in a private equity hub, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of guys in Denver and downtown that came from the street or from Chicago that are there looking for risky deals with big gains. So like that's a private equity venture capital space. You can network in those high net worth financial services circles and probably find someone that will step in to write those types of loans with that kind of risk if you have enough volume. I would first, before you reinvent the wheel, make sure you reach out to like Probate Cash. Their estate advances are unsecured. So they're taking 100% risk when they do that. Now they obviously have underwriting standards to weigh
Well, I mean, Probate Cash alludes to probate.
Yeah, but I just talked to Will, one of the.
But behind the scenes, I mean, it's a private equity firm.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. I get it.
And I'll just say that I just talked to Will to get a really great advance for my client, and that he did say, yeah, depending upon the circumstances, we can do a loan to get out of default.
But what we don't talk about on the interviews with Probate Cash, Lynette, like they have other divisions that serve other unique situations. But at the top, like the parent company that's sitting above those brands, it's a private equity firm. So
I haven't.
they're not afraid of risk, and if the probate cash team can't help you, they should move you to a part in the firm that actually where your loan would apply to their underwriting standards. But that's where I would start. Like you've got Sean and like Mark, they gave their cell phone numbers in the interview, the last interview we did, and the one before that. You can start with those guys and see if they would step up. I'm betting they will.
Okay. I haven't dipped my toe in that circle. Now I take that back. I have friends in the circle. I haven't touched
right.
them like without a count.
So I love that you're 3 weeks later. Here you are still working on that. Don't let off the gas. Like either get it in place or say it didn't work and here's why. Either way, come back and let us know.
Yes, thank you.
We're past the top of the hour, Winston. I don't want to leave you hanging though. How can we help you? Or how can you help someone else? You have your hand up.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to share a story, Chad, that just happened to me. Somewhat similar with some different variables. Just in the last couple of weeks, I had an attorney refer a case to me that was dealing with a reverse mortgage. It was well into default. In fact, they had a trustee sale in just about 2 weeks' time from the time it was referred to me. And how I was able to get it postponed is I just did it the old-fashioned way. I picked up the phone, called the lender. I talked to everybody across the country, including the Philippines and back again, and noted all my notes. Just introducing myself, told them who I am, my background, what I'm getting ready to do. I wanted to establish the good faith that was necessary to postpone the sale. I told them exactly what I was going to do with the buyer. We had a buyer. We wrote the deal. I got it signed up. We did have an executive in place. It was a cash deal that would close in time, okay, to beat the foreclosure sale, but there was still a little thing to be worked out. I sent them a copy of the contract. I sent them a copy of the cash proof of funds, a copy of the deposit from ESPO, the ESPO instructions. Each time I would send them something, I would just pick up the phone again and try to request an extension, a postponement. After all that came together, a little time went by, another request went in, and they granted me the postponement. So now we're going to be able to successfully close the sale, and everybody's going to be happy. And it just took a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of good faith, and evidence defeats disbelief. It proved true in this case.
That's awesome, man. So guys, that's service and that's tenacity. Like that's awesome, Winston. Way to step up and protect your clients. That's really fantastic. What a great way to end the call. Like I said in the beginning, guys, I can't wait to come to these calls lately. Like we get into such interesting conversations, and like Lynette's going to be a Renee is going to be a neuroscientist now. Nina's going to law school. Bill Gross is a probate coach. This is fun, right? All right, guys, listen, thanks so much for being here. I do have to run on to the next one, but we'll see you next week. Have a great day.